Interstate 69, dudes. Yeah, here we go again with I-69. Today we are talking about Interstate 69 Central because I-69 split into three parts in Texas, so why not split this video into three parts as well? It's a complicated road, takes a lot of doing. Let's look at the central part of I-69. Last week we finished in Evansville, Indiana. So today we're going to go from Evansville down to the Texas border. And then next week we'll wrap up I-69 with an all-Texas episode. You're watching Control City Freak. This is the YouTube channel where we talk about interstate highways and the places they are signed to go to. If you like this kind of content, then hey, give us a like. And if you really dig it, then why not hit that subscribe button? Thanks a lot. First, we will talk about Southbound I-69, as that's kind of where we left off, going south. Here's another look at the Twin Bridges, which is where we left off in the previous episode. This is the bridge over the Ohio River that connects Indiana and Kentucky near Evansville. This will never be I-69. It is the road that I-69 traffic takes to cross the river now, though. In the future, I-69 will have its own bridge across the river. In the Henderson, Kentucky area on the other side of the river, we have this intersection of US 41 with to I-69, what will be I-69 soon. Shortly after that, we have this exit for I-69. I-69 is signed for Morganfield, Madisonville, and Fulton, which are three cities that have never been in my kitchen. Before this video, I'd never heard of either of these places, so this is all new here. We get our first pull-through sign for I-69. It is considered an exit, as this is US 41 here, but it's also the straight-through path. And it is now signed for Madisonville and Fulton, with US 41 headed toward Morganfield. Here's our first I-69 reassurance shield in Kentucky. And here is where we meet a couple of Kentucky parkways. The Western Kentucky Parkway, roads that Kentucky built a long time ago that used to be toll roads. Now part of it is I-69. Including this section that will be going to Fulton. You get a mileage sign here. Fulton is the bottom line city, the final control city. Fulton is signed because it's the last city in Kentucky right before you cross into Tennessee. 69 doesn't really exist past it though, so I'm okay with it being signed now. But Fulton is a small town, only a couple of thousand people. I hope it is something larger once I-69 is finished through Tennessee. Here is our intersection with I-24. We have a short concurrency with I-24 here, and 69 is signed for Paducah along with 24. I do think there's a good argument to sign all of 69 in Kentucky up till this point for Paducah, because you do merge with 24, and then 24 gets to it very shortly after 69 leaves. We see on the concurrency there's no sign for Fulton, only for Paducah. And now 69 and 24 will split. 69 signed for Fulton, 24 for Paducah and Calvert City, which I think is actually more US 62's domain. This is pretty impressive. 69 has not been at this interchange very long at I-24, but Kentucky has already put high-speed interchanges for 69 through traffic. So 69 through traffic does not have to follow this cloverleaf loop. So I think that's pretty cool. And maybe something Memphis could learn from. Okay, now we get Benton, Mayfield, and Fulton is still signed as our last control city. And here is where the Purchase Parkway and I-69 currently end as we go into Tennessee. As you know, Tennessean is 10 of believin'. This intersection will eventually sign I-69, but it currently does not yet, I believe. And right here, we're kind of following the 45W51 way to Memphis. We're skipping ahead to the Memphis outskirts. This sign for 40 is on US 51, although this is actually I-69 unsigned that we are turning onto right now. Here we have the intersection with I-40, West Little Rock, although I don't know why that's not West Memphis, and East Nashville and Watkins Street. We are following I-40 West here because I-69 will eventually follow 40 West as well. Now we have the split with 240 South Jackson Miss and 40 West Little Rock. 69 will follow 240 through this section. Now 240 meets I-55, and I-69 will also follow I-55 from this point. It's not signed yet, but it officially is I-69, I believe. Tennessee just has not signed it yet. As we can see on I-55, we only get a 55 shield and no I-69 shield in Tennessee. I spoke too soon. This is about 30 feet before we get out of Tennessee, and we do get a sign for 55 and 69 South Jackson. Although 69 doesn't go to Jackson, so that's a little misleading. Welcome to Mississippi. And we see on the Mississippi side here, still in the Memphis metro area, we are signing 55 and 69. Here's the split with 55 and 69 in northern Mississippi, and we are going to have South 69 signed for Tunica and casinos. Now we see Tunica is 29 miles down the road, although I-69 is not going to last that long. It flames out well before that. Here, I-69 exits itself, as it's wont to do. I-69 really gives I-44 a run for its money with the turn on to stay on. Here is the end of I-69 in Mississippi. There is no end sign, we just know that it's ending because we're going to have an at-grade intersection coming up right here. Here we'll take a look at roughly the path that I-69 will follow through Mississippi once it's built from Tunica. It will continue down south along US 61, and it's planned to leave Mississippi and cross the Mississippi River right near Rosedale, or somewhere near Rosedale. Currently, there's no Mississippi River Bridge anywhere near Rosedale, so that'll be quite an undertaking. Welcome to Arkansas. We don't actually follow 69 on this bridge, but this is the nearest bridge to where 69 will cross. In Arkansas, I know this looks terrible on Street View, but there is this sign for 69 Future Corridor here. It says 2019 Google, but it's actually 2009. Here is the rough path of I-69 through Arkansas. As we can see, there will be a connector to 530 to Pine Bluff and ultimately to Little Rock, connecting to the I-69 corridor. Welcome to Louisiana. This sign seemed to be about as close to where I-69 will be as I could find. And here is the path highlighted in pink. I took this from Wikipedia instead of drawing my own for this one. And we can see the planned route for I-69 is to go to the east and south of Shreveport, and will connect to I-20 to the east and I-49 to the south of Shreveport, but will not actually enter Shreveport itself before cutting south and moving down to Texas. All right, now let's take a look at northbound in the central parts of I-69. This bridge is roughly as close as I could find to where I-69 will leave Texas and enter Louisiana. And we take another look at the map of Louisiana of where I-69 will be. We see I-69 enters Louisiana south of Shreveport, works its way up, and then cuts around Shreveport to the east before going northeast onto Arkansas. Welcome to Arkansas. This is about as close to where I-69 will be as I could find a Welcome to Arkansas sign. And we take another look at the Arkansas alignment going through southern Arkansas. There hasn't been any construction started here yet, from what I understand. So it's going to be quite a while before we see I-69 in Arkansas or Louisiana for that matter. Let's cross that same bridge back into Mississippi. And we take another look at the Mississippi alignment, the rough alignment of Mississippi through here, right along the Mississippi River and the US 61 corridor. On US 61, eventually we get this 2 I-69 sign, and you make a right turn right here at this intersection, and boom, you're back on 69. And here is a northbound I-69 reassurance shield. We even get a mileage sign in this little section of Mississippi. They seem to be kind of lacking on 69 as it currently exists. So we see I-55 and Memphis are the main places signed, which I think is a fantastic choice. Now we meet I-55, we get South 55 Jackson, and we do have a cloverleaf situation here. So we do have to get on a cloverleaf loop for through traffic onto I-69. Which is strange because this is a fairly recent interchange. I don't know why they wouldn't have built it for high-speed loops to go through for 69 traffic. Here's a look at that cloverleaf, and 269 is signed for Collierville. which I disagree with. Honestly, I don't even know why this is 269. I feel like they should just extend I-22 along this road instead. I think that would be the way to go. And then you could sign this for Birmingham or more likely Tupelo. And we are back in Tennessee again. Once again in Tennessee, I-69 disappears just like it did southbound. So we are taking north 240. I imagine they'll change these signs from just Little Rock to some kind of control city for I-69 at some point as well. This sea of signs will change quite a bit once I-69 is signed, since I-69 will be pulled through going straight. And again, I'm sure the control city for I-69 won't be Little Rock, it'll be something else. This US 51 Millington exit is where I-69 will be. It's in fact signed as I-69 on Google Maps, but not in real life, at least that I can see. And it dead ends pretty quickly into US 51. We get US 51 Millington. Again, I assume there will be some more substantial control city once it's I-69 here. In Union City, in northern Tennessee, if we look at satellite view, we can see I-69 under construction as they build a bypass around here, and it will connect to both ends of US 51 here. For whatever reason, no 69 sign here. We get 51 North Purchase Parkway, even though the Purchase Parkway technically is 69. At least I think it is. Welcome to Kentucky. Here's an interchange with the Purchase Parkway in Kentucky, and we see Mayfield is just signed, no Henderson. Interesting. And on the Purchase Parkway at this point, it is again Mayfield signed as the final city instead of Henderson. But I-69 is still not signed yet at this point. It does show up as I-69 on Google Maps, but they still don't seem to be signing at I-69, at least as of this Street View iteration. See, North Purchase Parkway, no I-69 shield here yet. In Mayfield, we do get I-69 signed though, South Fulton and North Henderson. Yet south of here, I-69 is, as I said, never signed, at least as of 2019, I think this Street View is from. Weird control cities, since we're on I-69 now, no Henderson, but we get US 62 is our primary control. Here's another on-ramp looking at an exit onto 69, and we get South Mayfield Fulton, North Calvert City. Again, a little weird because it doesn't actually go to Calvert City. We meet I-24, we get West 24, Paducah, Calvert City, and I-69 signed for Henderson, 24 for Nashville. So this does make sense. Not a bad sign here. Western Kentucky Parkway is I-69, so they're telling us where we get off I-69, and then Nashville is the final control city. This is weird. Interstate junction, but no overhead sign, just a side of the road sign for I-69. Which again used to be just the Western Kentucky Parkway, into Henderson, Elizabethtown. Elizabethtown is the final place signed. That's the end of the Western Kentucky Parkway, but I-69 itself doesn't go anywhere near there. Here we have the split with Western Kentucky Parkway and 69. 69 signed north for Henderson. Here's a nice overhead sign when we meet US 41, 69 still Henderson. I imagine that will change once 69 is built up across Indiana, maybe to Indianapolis. We cross our fingers, I don't know. Right here, I believe, is still technically 69, but 69 will be leaving soon. We do see 41 signed for Henderson and Morganfield. Ah, yes, yeah, that part I think is still 69 because we still have 35 miles to go until Henderson. So kind of weird that 69 wasn't signed there. This is what I-69 is going to look like in the general Henderson area. It's going to leave its current route at around right before US 60 and then cut over to the new bridge where it will meet its current self on the other side in Indiana. So US 60, this is a little bit north of where 69 will be. We see 41 Evansville. Now let's take a look at Todd's the way it should be. This is a little hard to do on I-69 because some sections are built, some aren't, so it's really hard to sign what the control cities are. So for south, I'm going to say Paducah, but I do hope that changes once I-69 is complete all the way to Memphis. I'd like to see it signed just from, Evansville to Memphis all the way, possibly Indianapolis to Memphis. Then I think it should be Shreveport and then Houston, although we'll get to that in the next episode. Northbound coming in from Texas, Shreveport, then Memphis, then Indianapolis. All All right, that wraps up this episode of Control City Freak. Please come back next week when we finish up I-69 and its very confusing Texas section. Thanks so much for watching Control City Freak. My name is Todd, and keep on trucking.